Heinkel P-1078 single-jet fighter. Two versions of this single-seat, single-jet fighter are described in Heinkel documents. A third solution was also planned. The 1078A has a 40 degrees swept-back shoulder, gull wing, and swept-back fin and tailplane. The HES-011 unit is mounted in the lower portion of the fuselage and is connected to the single-jet intake in the nose by a slightly curved duct, 8 feet 10 inches long. Above the intake and well forward in the nose is the pilot's cockpit. There are two Mk-108 guns, one on each side of the cockpit, with provision for automatic triggering. The main undercarriage wheels retract forward and upward into the fuselage. The nose wheel, which is offset, retracts rearward and upward into the starboard side of the intake duct. There is a large fuel tank extending across the fuselage into each wing root, and the smaller separate tank farther back in the upper portion of the fuselage. Much less conventional is the 1078B. This is a tailless design with 40 degrees swept-back high wing. There are no vertical control surfaces, but the wingtips have a pronounced anhedral, and controls are provided both on the main wing and the drooping tips. The fuselage is short and wide, with twin projecting noses. In the port nose is the pilot's cockpit. The starboard nose houses the armament, two Mk-108s, and the retracted offset nose wheel. Automatic triggering is again provided. The main wheels retract forward and upward. Centrally disposed between the projecting noses is the intake for the HES-011 unit, which is mounted in the rear of the fuselage. A single large fuel tank extends across the upper portion of the fuselage into both wing roots. Submitted for the single-jet fighter competition is of the true tailless type, with a pronounced inverted gull wing, which contains the whole of the fuel supply, 320 gallons. The air intake is in the nose of the fuselage, and is flattened to provide space for the pilot's cockpit above and the retracted nose wheel below. Two Mk-108s, 100 rounds per gun, are mounted on each side of the cockpit. The rear of the fuselage is occupied by the HES-011 turbojet unit. Span 29.54 feet. Wing area 191.6 square feet. Aspect ratio 4.55 to 1. Disposable load 3,230 pounds. All up weight 8,643 pounds. Landing weight 8,679 pounds. Landing speed, 113 miles per hour. Takeoff run, 766 yards. Maximum speed, 637 miles per hour at sea level. Heinkel P-1079 night fighter. This twin-jet two-seat night fighter has the wing swept back 35 degrees at quarter chord and drooping at a small anhedral angle. The conventional vertical fin and tailplane have been replaced by a V-tail. The jet units, either two HES-011 or two UMO-004s, are mounted in the wing roots close to the fuselage, giving a peculiar frontal appearance. Retraction of the main wheels is forward and upward into the fuselage, and the nose wheel retracts rearward and is stowed flat. The crew sit back to back in a cabin in the nose. 4 Mk-108 guns are mounted in staggered pairs low down on each side of the cabin. There are 3 fuel tanks in the fuselage, and 1 in each wing outboard of the jet unit. A drawing of this aircraft shows a span of 39.4 feet and a wing area of 323 square feet, whereas a specification sheet gives the span at 45.9 feet and a wing area of 430 square feet. The following weights and performance figures relate to the latter condition. There are also other versions of this aircraft designated 1079B. These are both tailless designs. One follows fairly closely on the lines of the aircraft already described, but the rear portion of the fuselage and V-tail have been eliminated and a single fin and rudder substituted. The nose has also been shortened and modified to provide staggered seating. The other version of the 1079B approximates more closely a true flying wing design. The vertical fin has been eliminated, and the gull wing has pronounced anhedral on the outer panels. The jet units are more widely spaced, and the main wheels are stowed flat between them, one retracting upward and forward, and the other upward and rearward. Heinkel P-180 Athetid propelled fighter. This was the latest of the Heinkel projects on which information had been received. It is a single-seat fighter with an athetid unit in each wing root. The span of the sharply swept-back wing is 29.2 feet, and the wing area is 218 square feet. There is a single fin and rudder, but no tailplane. From a drawing, the athetid units appear to be of the Seinger type, with an overall length of 16.4 feet, and a combustion chamber diameter of 3.28 feet. The cockpit is well forward in the nose, and behind it there is a single large fuselage tank. Armament comprises 2 Mk-108s mounted low down, one on each side of the cockpit. The aircraft lands on a retractable skid. No weight or performance estimates are available. In the last episode, episode 13, I forgot to mention the problems with the impulse duct engines on the HE-162. And apart from the excessive vibration, was high fuel consumption and limited endurance. And I realized after editing this particular episode that I had completely left out all the drawings that were in the original manuscript. So here's what those look like. The present tense has been used for convenience in the following contexts. However, this does not mean that an aircraft is in existence or that one was ever built.